Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namah. Master to the devotees, I have heard a great deal about Buddha. He is one of the 10 incarnations of God. Brahma is immobile, immutable, and inactive, and of the nature of consciousness, Chaitanya. When a man merges his buddhi, his intelligence, in Bodha, the consciousness, Chaitanya, then he attains the knowledge of Brahman. He becomes Buddha, enlightened. The buddhi must merge in the Chaitanya. Just see, when we sleep, we leave the body. After leaving the world disappears, body disappears. Then mind, intellect, senses we separate from, and we enter into the Karana Sharira, causal body. There we leave all our identity and all our knowledge we have acquired in the seed form and become pure consciousness, individual consciousness, merge in the cosmic consciousness every day. But when we turn inward and go, take up the inward journey consciously to see who am I, by leaving one by one layers, we leave the Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, and enter into infinity. Now, while going back, we leave the mind, intellect, and senses. But when we go inward, we need intellect. Intellect is pervading waking state also. We take intellect and senses and enter inside. Annamaya, we cross the bodily existence. Second, we cross the Pranamaya, the energy level that is maintaining bodily movements. Pranamaya. Then we enter into mental sheath, the sheath of mind. Buddhi, manas. Buddhi is still deeper. Mind, mana. This is Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha consists of 5 senses are there and mind is there. Where am I going? I am consciousness. I am consciously going inside, not sleeping. Unconsciously I am not going. Consciously I am going in meditation. So I cross the Annamaya, Pranamaya, enter the Manomaya. In Manomaya, I have already left the physical body behind. I have transcended that limit. Then I have to go on beyond the Karmendriya, and so all karmas I am doing action, output. I have transcended along with the energy levels there. Then I enter the Manomaya. In Manomaya, mind and 5 senses are alone there. Now, I go to Vijnanamaya. I cannot go to the Vijnanamaya with Manomaya. So, now, Buddhi, mind and senses are still there with me. Now, to enter into Vijnanamaya Kosha, I have to, the mind merges in the intellect, Buddhi. Manas merges in the Buddhi. I am leaving physical body, Annamaya, Pranamaya, in Manomaya Kosha. There is All the three are there. Buddhi, Indriyas, and then mind. Sense organs, mind and intellect are there. Now, when mind merges, mind is flicker. It runs here, there. It is under the sway of vasanas, old tendencies. As it tendencies go on decreasing, world doesn't attract. Now, I am free from the holdings of world. So, I can the mind automatically merges in the buddhi and I enter the Vijnanamaya Kosha. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, there is buddhi and senses. Buddhi and senses. 5 senses are there. In Vijnanamaya Kosha, buddhi alone is there. Without, it is not flickering. It is not under the sway of vasanas, old tendencies. No tendencies driving me to the world. I have great freedom from the world, and world is totally away from me, unseen, unperceived. Buddhi is self-luminous as if. It is not like Atman, but it is a unique faculty that is not bound by anything. Nothing can catch it. It is an independent entity. In it lies the ego always. Always ego and buddhi go together. It is embedded. Ego is embedded in buddhi. Now, because of the mind, which is under the sway of vasanas, it was running here, there, with kartritva, bhoktritva, jnatritva. Now it is aspiring, the ego is aspiring for higher. It wants enjoyments, but not momentary pleasures of the world. It wants unchanging, eternal joy, everlasting peace, because buddhi alone is there, in which ego is there. Ego is seeking not the temporal, but permanent. So the turning inward is maintained by my aspiration for the eternal. If I turn out, it is temporal. If I keep it, if I go on seeking eternal, it remains focused inward. So I can go to the deeper. Now, in Vijnanamaya Kosha, if I desire, if I seek, I get the vision of God, my Ishta Devata. I play, enjoy, because there are only senses that can perceive. This enjoyment is transcendental. It is not bodily enjoyments of comforts, luxuries, or physical enjoyments. It is of the Atman. Is experiencing the company of God, who is the Lord of the universe, because of my longing to see Him in a particular way. I want to see as Rama, I want to see as Christ, I want to see as Buddha. My longing, because God is conscious entity, is consciousness itself. So easily projects forth. He doesn't have limitation, he is unlimited. So he can take any form. You seek that form. Now you want to mold the water into ice. What shape you want? You want in cubes, you want in flat, whatever way you want, you can mold it. It is your wish. If you want to mold it as Krishna, if you have a mold of Krishna, you will get Krishna eyes. Like that, it is God is, because it has no limitation. Because of the lack of limitation, He manifests in the way you want. Afterwards He reveals Himself. What is He? But first vision will be what I was longing, what I was worshipping, the same. But the object is made up of Chaitanya, consciousness, and I have developed by grace of divine and the plan of nature, I have developed a body, just like I get a dream body in dream, I get a love body in samadhi. So this love body is just like this. Dream body is also just like this. But material is in the dream world, the material is mind. Here it is love. Love has made a body. In the dream, mind has made a body. So with this love body, I interact with God. I talk, I play. These are all transcendental aspects beyond mind. Mind has merged in buddhi. Now, after I want to become one with it, one with my object of meditation. It is like two individual identities want to become. Two eyes, same material. Ice blocks, they want to become one. So they dissolve. Both the Bhakta and Bhagavan, the devotee and the Devata, Ishta Devata, the form of God. God with form, Jiva with form, physical bodily existence, but that is of Chaitanya, this is of love. And they dissolve, just like two ice blocks are dissolving to become one. The difference is size, and difference may be small, color. Ice may be little colorful because of the sum. Now, suppose I keep some object like a diamond or anything, spatika. By the side, if I keep red, it looks red. By the side, if I keep a blue flower, the spatika looks blue. It has not changed, but because of I have desire to see God and play with Him. So that desire gives the small coloring of bhakta. God remains the same. I am bhakta, devotee. There. That is the difference, Bhakta and Bhagavan. That is Chaitanya, I am Prema, love. So, as we try to become one, both dissolve to become one, Ekarasa. Now you see the intellect, buddhi, everything is merging in the form to become formless. First, the mind has already merged. Only two entities are there in love. That is, one is intellect with ego, and senses which are seeing the form. Now senses also merge in the buddhi. Only buddhi with embedded ego is moving towards the formless, nirguna nirakara. Now that buddhi also merges in it. Then only one remains with the knowledge of one without a second. Now this is called bodha. Now how the intellect alone, taking the mind and senses with ego embedded, how it went inside. Mind got merged in the buddhi as we with form, saw the form, and senses merged in the buddhi. And so buddhi alone is moving with ego within. Ego and the buddhi are charged with consciousness. It's full, I am Chaitanya, I am Chaitanya, I am consciousness. The whole thing is filled with the, whatever I think of, that I become. Constant thinking of the absolute existence, limitless, of unchanging eternal reality, thinking of that, mind has acquired that nature. It is conscious, like iron, red hot iron is no more iron. It is fire. So when it becomes white hot, red hot to white hot. When it becomes, it is emitting light. It is no more, it has lost all the property of iron. Like this, buddhi loses all properties and nature of Prakriti. It is Chaitanya itself, it is no more Prakriti like. So that merges in this is called Bodha. Sri Ramakrishna is explaining that how this buddhi merges in Chaitanya. Brahman is immovable, immutable, inactive. And the nature of consciousness, Chaitanya, its nature of Chaitanya, Brahman. When a man merges his buddhi in, that is, buddhi means intelligence, intellect, in bodha, consciousness, then he attains the knowledge of Brahman. Buddhi must merge in it. To know exactly anything in this world, I have to become that. Then only I will know. Object and subject must become one. I go on contemplating on, suppose, any animal, monkey or dog. I go on contemplating till I become one with it. Then alone I will know what monkey or dog can be. I have become that. Otherwise, it's objective knowledge. Unless I become that, I don't get subjective knowledge of it. I get an objective knowledge. So to know exactly what it is, I must become that. Through contemplation, through meditation, I become one with it. Then I get the exact knowledge. Subject merges in the object. And object, I get the 100% knowledge of the object. Same thing happens here. The mind which is meditating on the absolute existence merges in it to give the first-hand knowledge of the what is absolute existence, what is Brahman. Then he is said to be enlightened Buddha. Nangta used to say that the mind merges in buddhi and buddhi in bodha, consciousness, that is Chaitanya. Mind merges in buddhi, we saw from Manomaya Kosha, while entering into Vijnanamaya, it has to merge, otherwise there is no entry. With mind it cannot enter. Mind cannot enter the Vijnanamaya Kosha. It has to merge in the buddhi. Then from Manomaya Kosha, I enter into Vijnana Kosha and see first the light of consciousness, Chaitanya. First, then I get the vision of God and I go further. Then the intellect alone travels, of the mind is also merged. Mind, senses are also merged. Now buddhi alone goes. Mind merges in buddhi, buddhi merges in the Chaitanya, consciousness, bodha. The aspirant does not, Nangta means he is Totapuri Maharaj who taught him the Advaitic truths of spiritual existence. The spirit does not attain the knowledge of Brahman as long as he is conscious of his ego. I am going, I am eating. Need not be bad ego. Ego, I am here, I am so and so, I am a good boy. Anything that I is there. I will go and do this, I will go and do that, I will sleep, I will get up. All this, that I, it is not bad I. But the I-ness itself, as long as that I is there, good or bad, the aspirant does not attain the knowledge of Brahman as long as he is conscious of his ego. The ego comes under one's control after one has obtained the knowledge of Brahman. Because ego is inner content of the buddhi, intellect. When buddhi merges, along with it, ego also merges. Otherwise, the ego cannot be controlled. It is difficult to catch one's own shadow. But when the sun is overhead, the shadow is within few inches of the body. What an example, you see. When sun is there, I cannot catch my as so my shadow is up to there when the sun is rising on the earth. And if I move forward to catch the shadow, it moves still farther. It goes on moving. I can't. But when the sun is coming up, just at the zenith, above the head, I see the shadow is within me. My feet, at the feet only. It is, I have already occupied it. A devotee, what is the vision of God like? Master, have not you seen a theatrical performance? The people there engaged in conversation when suddenly the curtain goes up. Then the entire mind of the audience is directed to the play. The people don't look at other things any longer. Samadhi is to go within oneself like that. When the curtain is rung down, people look around again. Just so, when the curtain of Maya falls, the mind becomes externalized. What happens is, just like when some program is there, stage is there, stage curtains are closed, and inside something is going on which we do not know, arrangements maybe, or preparation for display. All will be talking to each other, lot of sound you can hear around. And when the curtain just moves up, it's getting open. Everybody's attention is there. All stop their talking. Whole eyes are riveted on it, what is going to be there now. Like that, whole attention gets suddenly focused when a vision of God comes. That I identity has gone away. I as personality is dissolved. Nothing of mine is there, as if the object alone is shining and subject has become silent. It is something like a shocking news or something where I do not feel my existence, but the objective only. In an accident, the child was thrown away, a door of the car opened, the child was thrown away. While taking turn, the door opened and the child was thrown away. The moment it fell, it smashed as if it is throwing away blood. Blood, chuck, it came out. And the mother who was sitting inside, just was looking, she has transfixed. No movements. She could not bear the shock. And how long they are trying to bring her back to consciousness. With eyes open, she is neither moving nor breathing, as if she is transfixed. After a long time, she regained. The baby was hurt only, but still, how that mind suddenly becomes, chuck, it is arrested. Here, because of the shock, it's arrested. There it is focused. when vision of God is focused. It is a thing which cannot be explained. Again, the Maya screen come down, and again comes to the normal consciousness. When the curtain is rung down, people look around again. Just so, when the curtain of Maya falls, the mind becomes externalized. To Narendra Banerjee, you have travelled a great deal. Tell us something about the sadhus. Narendra, that is not Vivekananda, Narendra Banerjee. Narendra told the story of two yogis in Bhutan who used to drink daily a pound of bitter juice of neem leaves. He had also visited the hermitage of a holy man on the bank of Narmada. At the sight of Bengali Babu, dressed in European clothes, the sadhu had remarked, "He has a knife hidden under his clothes, next to his belly." Now you see, Sri Ramakrishna asking, anybody going out on pilgrimage here or there, a question he asks, did you see any sadhus there? Because where is our attention? When we go to pilgrimage or some far off place or to a shrine somewhere, where is my awareness? Where is my consciousness? The whole purpose of my going is, where else can I see the divine? Where else can I get the information regarding the spiritual matters other than sadhus? Sadhus seeing inspires. Oh, they have left everything and devoted their life calling on God. He is closer to God. He is by contemplating on God. He may be able to give me some knowledge, whatever he has attained. Maybe a child has started going to school. Now, there is a boy who could not go to school. He goes on asking his friend, "What did you see? How was the school? How do you sit? How do you do?" All that he'll get there. When he goes to the first standard, he gets a little more. As he is climbing, he is going to be able to give more and more knowledge. He can share his knowledge, first standard knowledge, second standard knowledge. In 10th, he can share the 10th standard knowledge. Now, that according to the sadhus have been evolving, and they get from different sadhus of different denominations, different way of their sadhana, will be getting different understanding of God. So Sri Ramakrishna is interested. Let them know God, regarding God, the vast, and he is going to distinguish what is right, what is wrong, what is right understanding, how to go with the understanding. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.